isn't it?
Well, seeing is believing, as you send the cameras in the stadium now and in other parts. Will show really how much people are really involved and wanted to go and help. This bride who sent her dowry to donated her dowry to the Syrian people is very emotional.
That's a very emotional, very generous, and
very generous. This is a bride. She wants to actually to share her feelings of happiness with her Syrian brothers. I do salute her a lot.
How do you think this bride will be rewarded by Allah Almighty, remembering her brothers in need at the time of happiness?
Absolutely, yes, by all means. I'm very much overwhelmed by these feelings.
Yesterday, sir, I've seen it on Prince Faisal Fahd Stadium. A handicapped child gave his mobile. And when our correspondent asked him, why did you do so? He said, that's the only thing I have. The only thing I have. He gave it away. One mobile, and he's handicapped. Imagine a handicapped gives that. What about you? Are you going to donate? Are you going to help? If you don't have money, there are other means of donating. By supplicating to Almighty Allah. By helping, by calling them, by supporting them morally. So it's not only the money that the people needs, but also morally. And
I'm sure you mentioned the number of mobile donations coming.
3.4 million Saudi.
This is coming from very easy things. If you send number one, you donate 10 riyals, 2 20 riyals, or 3 30 riyals. That's all it takes. It brings this amount, 3 point something million riyals.
So 10 riyals can make a difference.
It makes difference, make
Because
a lot of difference.
it piles up.
Yes, it make a lot of difference, and it's very small moves from your fingertips.
On the mobile.
On the mobile.
It's an occasion, as said by my guest. 10 riyals makes the difference. 1 riyal makes the difference because it piles up and it becomes one of the communication companies. 3.4 million Saudi riyals. We have not heard from STC and Zain and other companies,
Yes.
but hopefully it will reach. But we're hoping that the biggest campaign in Saudi Arabia reached many times over 500 million Saudi riyals. Over 500 million Saudi riyals.
I'll not be amazed if we reach that number very soon, maybe tomorrow.
Maybe,
500
inshallah.
million riyals will be easy to achieve.
I'm sure we're looking forward not only to the regular people or to the poor people, but for you, the businessmen of Saudi Arabia, the princes of Saudi Arabia, the princes that have told us how generous the Saudis could be, and that's the time of generosity. That's the time when you are rewarded 10 times by Allah Almighty. Let's remember the day when Umar ibn Khattab wanted to compete with Abu Bakr during the need, when the Prophet asked them for donations for a war, for the war to be waged, and Umar ibn Khattab came that day and he split half of his money, Mr. Al-Bazri, and he said, today I will beat Abu Bakr. When he came with half of his belongings, he was asked by the Prophet, peace be upon him, and said, what did you leave for your family? He said, I left half of my belongings. Then the Khalifa radiallahu anhu came, Abu Bakr, with all his belongings. So the Prophet looked at him and he said, what did you leave for your family? He said, I left Allah wa Rasuluh. Are we going to be able to do so? Are we going to... Sometimes we give and we give little. Why don't we learn to give much and to give not half, but to give 3/4, because Allah will repay it back to you during this life and during the resurrection day and the hereafter. Allah promised us, if you do a good deed, it's doubled and tripled. And as we said in the first verse, we said, مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبتت 7 سنابل في كل سنبلة 100 حبة والله يضاعف لمن يشاء والله واسع عليم. Those who pay in the sake of Allah, those who pay their money in the sake of Allah, as one seed ended in 7 simple. If you do one good deed, that's 700 times.
700 times, yes.
During this month of Ramadan could be even doubled, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يضاعف لمن يشاء. Even the 700 could go further. So does that make the feeling that when you give, sometimes you're happier than, tell us about the feeling of the people when they give.
I believe